Hey YouTube, what is going on, y'all? All right, man, today's video is a little bit different than most. Today's video, I'm going to go in depth into steps I took, the steps you can take, the steps anybody can take to get way better at Warzone. I've been playing Call of Duty a long time, man, way back in 2009, MW2. I'm like, what? I'm like 11, 12, 13 years old, something like that. Just playing for fun, not really thinking much of it on the Xbox 360. On a fat TV with one of them TVs with a fat ass booty. Been more recent than that, I was still on a console when Warzone first dropped. And even going back just the 2 years ago or whatever it was when Warzone first dropped, and looking at me now to see how far I've come as a player is pretty shocking. I've always had the ability in me to get those high kill games, but I could never put it together where I could consistently do it. Get on like every day, drop a 30, drop a 20, whatever it might be. Whatever you consider a high kill game for yourself, that is what you should strive to do consistently. Consistency breeds greatness, and if you are consistently great, you will go down as one of the best of all time, no matter what field you're in. And video games are no different than anything else. I still think video games have come a long way, right? But there's still that weird disconnect in people's brains that people don't realize that a video game is a lot like a sport. The more you put into it, the more you will get out of it. And I know the whole cheating scene, the whole hacking scene does not help with that disconnect whatsoever, because it is so easy to just look at somebody drop a crazy kill game and go, oh, he must be cheating. And I get it for this side of thing, the video game side of thing, it's very easy to jump to that conclusion. Whereas watching Steph Curry put in 10 threes in one game, you can't really, it's harder to say, oh, he's got to be cheating. I can promise you that I'm not saying everybody doesn't cheat. Obviously, there's cheaters out there, shit like that. It sucks. It's just something we have to deal with in this video game world. But I promise you, the people you think are cheating most likely aren't cheating. They've simply put in crazy amount of hours into games through their entire life and have become one of the best in the world. All right, now that I've got that pre-game speech out of me, I just wanted to get all that out. Let's get into the things that can make you consistent. In my opinion, Call of Duty Warzone is a mixture of three things, right? So first and foremost, the most important thing, man, is aiming. You gotta hit your shots to get the kills. Simple as that might sound, there's a lot of things people do that hurt their aim that they don't even realize they're doing. All right, so let's get into the aim. I might have to break this down into 3 different videos or a series of videos of how to get, but first and foremost, man, we're gonna get into the aim. Aiming in Call of Duty is the most important aspect. If you can't hit your shots, nothing else matters. Because when you strip Call of Duty of all the flashiness, all this and that, all this extra stuff, and you bring it down to that 1v1 at the end of the game, whoever hits their shots is going to win the game. And the first thing that's most important when it comes to aiming, getting your aim right, is your settings, your controller settings, or keyboard and mouse settings, whatever you play on. Obviously, I can't speak on keyboard and mouse too much because I have never played a game keyboard and mouse. I've always been a controller. I come from console onto PC now. I'm still using a controller. I always will. It's just what I'm most comfortable with. I type like this. So me on keyboard and mouse, probably not a good idea. Your sensitivity is the most important thing when it comes to aiming. When it comes to hitting them shots consistently, again, I always preach consistency. You want to find the sensitivity that best suits you over a long period of time. So if you're just playing one game on a certain sensitivity and you're like, oh, dude, I'm not hitting my shots this game, I got to change it. You're never going to find a good sense that way. You have to find a window of sense. I personally would recommend like 5.5 on the very low end and then 9.9 at the very high end, right? You use that window, that recommendation window. Again, this will be different for everybody. So if that window doesn't work, find that window and then you play with it from there. But don't just go one game on one sense and then change it if it doesn't work out. You have to give it a few games, a few days even. Again, you can look this up on YouTube and people will have 1,000 different settings, right? But again, you can take those settings as like a template for you. But once you get that template, you have to tweak it yourself to find what best works for you, because everybody is going to be different. You can't just copy and paste somebody else's settings and expect it to work for you. It might, it could happen, but But don't copy and paste somebody's settings. It doesn't work for you. And then you go to somebody else's settings and do the same thing. Don't do that. You have to put the time in with certain settings in game to find what best works for you. So personally, I play on 7.7. I started on 6.6. I went up to 8.8. I came back down to 7.7, and I finally think I found what I'm going to be most consistent on over the long run of my Call of Duty career. But again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not copy and paste somebody else's settings and expect it to work for you off the jump. And another one that's very important is the ADS sensitivity multiplier. So your horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, you want to find that first. The custom sense allows you to customize each zoom multiplier individually. So this is actually pretty insane. This is such a clutch setting. So your ADS sense multiplier low zoom, which is going to be like iron sights, like a red dot, stuff like that. Personally, I have it on 0.8. You're going to want this lower than 1 because you want it to be lower than 7. So what you would do is, all this is simply multiplying your base sense, your horizontal and vertical sense, and you multiply it by whatever your low zoom sense is. So 7 times 0.8 is 5.6. So that would be the actual value to my low zoom. Your horizontal and vertical sensitivity is like your base sensitivity, if you will. So like if you're not ADS'd, this is what your sensitivity was going to be. So I'm just running around. I'm not fighting, just running around the map. Where can you control your centering the most? And I'll talk about centering in a minute. Where can you control your centering the most? The most comfortable you are with your crosshairs on the screen. Centering is keeping your crosshairs dead center of your screen. Whatever sensitivity you can find that it's easiest for you to keep your crosshairs centered on your screen, that is the sensitivity you should stick with. And then once you start finding that sensitivity, you want to come down to your custom sensitivity. And now this is when you're actually zoomed in, aiming at somebody, shooting at somebody. Where can you control recoil? You can track your target. Where can you control your recoil and track your target the best? At what sensitivity? All right, so let's say you get all of your settings squared away. You're happy with them. You want to test them out. You want to practice your newfound aim. Best way this is what I did every single day before I would play. Every day I would come into Modern Warfare multiplayer and I would shoot bots. I go on Rust just because it's nostalgic. It really doesn't matter. And I also have a mode saved here called Warm Up. This is what I did every day for like 2 years. Not consistently 2 years because I did take a break from playing Warzone, whatever. But when I was seriously grinding this game, trying to get as good as I possibly could be, this is what I did every single day. Oh, I highly recommend. All right, so you go in, free for all, boom, unlimited. Shit like that. But this here is the most key. You want, back in the day, obviously it was 250. Now it's 300 health. You want to go into the player settings and put the max health up to 300. You can get that muscle memory of shooting people fully plated. Because obviously now we have 150 base health in Warzone and 150 health worth of plates. And then in Modern Warfare, we didn't have the weapon pings on in the minimap, so you have to go in and change that. I would highly recommend that because this, especially if you play Rebirth, this is a great way to get used to always peeking up at that map. And then you get into the game. So we have 11 bots. Everybody's got 300 base health, unlimited lives, unlimited time limit. Go in this, do this every single day. Tweak your settings in here if you want. Figure out what works best for you, which sensitivity is going to work best for you. This is the perfect spot to do it. And now also, while you are in here, work on your centering. Your centering. What I mean by centering is where these white crosshairs are on your map at all times. We're going to talk about centering. And when I refer to centering, what I'm talking about is where you keep these white crosshairs that are always on your screen. Unless you ADS, when you're just running around the map and these white crosshairs are on your screen, where are you keeping them when you're not in a fight? I see it all the time. Even my IRL friends that I play with a lot, I see it all the time. They get lazy with it, and this is how they're running around the map. Right? They're looking at the ground. Centering, awful. The thing with this is you're just adding more reaction time. So say I'm running around with my centering lazy, and somebody pops out of here. I would have to then drag my aim up and over ADS and get shots on him before he has a chance to kill me. But Call of Duty, we have a very fast TTK. You're not going to survive this gunfight if your centering is this bad. By the time I adjust and get probably one bullet on him, I'm probably nearly dead or already dead. So there's no chance for you to snap on them. This is where centering is what gets people accused of hacking so much. If you have good centering, you can just simply snap on people. So you have to make this a conscious effort. You have to be constantly thinking about it, especially if you are somebody who is lazy with centering. Make this a conscious effort. Always keep it in your head to have it, your crosshair at a player's chest level, right? Always be thinking about it. And then after you keep thinking about it, game in, game out, day in, day out, all the games you play, you have in the back of your mind, I have to keep my centering up. I have to keep my centering good. It will eventually become muscle memory to you, and then you will not have to think about that all the time. But again, with anything, it's going to take time to develop that muscle memory. So anytime you catch yourself getting lazy, like, damn, I got to get my centering right, keep that in your mind. Okay, but now let's take centering a step further. Centering is a great way to essentially pre-aim maybe a high traffic spot on the map. Or let's say you have a UAV, you know, but somebody's in a building and they're just kind of sitting in there. Or let's say it's a known camping spot. People sit in a corner all the time in this area. You can always have your centering directly on that area. So say, and I'm running up on a high traffic doorway. I am going to make a conscious effort of keeping my crosshairs directly on that doorway. So if anybody pops out of there, I don't have to adjust my aim at all. I'm already snapped onto them. This way, I will not get taken by surprise. But let's say your centering's bad in this situation. So you're looking at the ground, running around, rotating, doing whatever you're doing. But you're running up, and somebody pops out of this window. Your aim is centered on the ground. You have to make that adjustment to come up and then start shooting. Whereas if they're just sitting in here, they hear you coming, and they poke out, you're looking at the ground, they're already getting shots on you. So by the time oh shit, somebody's right here, boom, 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 I'm taking hella damage getting up here. It's not ideal. Now, if I'm running up to this doorway and somebody's waiting for me on the other side, and I have my crosshairs already centered on there, directly when they pop out, I can already ADS, boom. I'm already centered on their chest. That's the biggest thing. When I'm thinking about centering, I'm always thinking about where an enemy player's chest would be. So I try to always keep it on that upper chest and then work my way up. So the upper chest, you never want to try to snap onto the head, because if you miss any shots, you're going to get punished. So I always try to snap onto the upper chest and then work my way up to a headshot. Because obviously, shooting somebody in the head is going to kill them much quicker. Just keep a conscious effort, a conscious mind of where your centering is. You will notice right away situations where you snap on somebody coming out of a doorway, out of a window, whatever it might be. Whereas before you were consciously thinking about your centering, you would have got gunned. You will notice it right away. And yeah, this is really all there is to it. You're just shooting bots. Again, practicing your centering, making sure your centering is always top notch. Don't get lazy with it. Again, aiming for that upper chest. So this is the perfect area. This is the perfect time to get that upper chest. What's the word I'm looking for? Not illusion, but that it painted in your head, right? The upper chest. Because you're seeing all these characters right here in front of you. You get a good idea of where the upper chest is. And that is where you should consciously be keeping your crosshairs at all times, no matter if you're fighting or not. Because then that's when your aim starts getting really snappy and people will accuse you of cheating, even though you're not. A lot of times I like to come in here and use high recoil guns just so I can get better at controlling that recoil and tracking at the same time. Again, to control recoil in Call of Duty, all you do is pull down on that right stick. It's really not hard, especially because not many guns in Call of Duty really have recoil. All right, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Kind of like a explanation of how people get really good aim in Warzone. Hope you guys can take something from it, learn something from it. Get out there, practice your aim, get them beams on point. If you guys would like to see me drop future videos like this. Maybe next video I go into like positioning and reading the map, moving around the map, stuff like that. And then maybe a future video will be movement. If you guys would like to see something like that, go down, drop a like, leave a comment telling me what I should go over. What is one thing you might struggle with that you feel like I could explain in a way? So if you guys did enjoy the video, please do me a favor, go down, drop a like, subscribe, notifications on, so you never miss a video. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.